Okay, so here's the current dilemma. I ordered a new sweater for the ugly Christmas sweater contest at work. Sean thinks that my old one from last year would win. By the way, I wore these adorable leggings underneath it. Look how cute is that, little gingerbread men and hot chocolate. So this is last year's choice. It's actually a dress. It's not an ugly sweater per se. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, you can. It lights up and it's so cool. I love it. And then this is the one I just bought. I got it from Spencer's and it makes me so happy. So smiling's my favorite. And like its predecessor, where is it? I'm really bad at this part. There we go. I don't know. I feel like this right here is gonna be the winner, but Sean thinks that the dress is. So comment below. Let me know which one I should be wearing. It also blinks like that. You can also just keep the lights on. And that's off. All right, put those away. If I was still smaller size, I would definitely wear my previous one that I had before. It was a unicorn one with like the unicorn busting out of the chest area. Oh my god, it's so funny. Some more stuff to wrap. Oh, it's never ending. I have a ton of stuff to wrap. I actually I have a lot. I have his secret sibling gift. His secret sibling was Ark. I did not have that in the vlog because he wasn't here. So, and it was just process of elimination at that point. So Ark has Caius. Caius has Landon. Landon has Ark. Try to keep that all sorted in your brain hole there. 4 more things to wrap for Sean that I missed. It's more, I don't know if you can see that. Probably not. It's more filament in a blue color. And this one is red filament. This is a base plate for the 3D printer. I don't know if that's correct to say. But it's a glass one. Apparently this is way easier to clean your 3D printing off of. Blah, 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 blah. And then finally, I have this. I showed you, I got him a red hat. I ended up giving that to him for his birthday because it was from a store that I wasn't sure what the return policy was, and I wasn't sure that I got him the right size hat. So I gave him the red hat. It was the wrong size, but I learned what the correct size is. So I got him another hat too. I got him a red one that fits, but this is just like a green. And I was gonna get him a blue one, but they didn't have the size that he was interested in. So I shouldn't say interested in, the size that fits him. I got him a camo hat that's still on the way. And as I'm buying all these hats, I'm sitting here thinking like, I gotta get him something, maybe for Valentine's. Maybe it'll be a good Valentine's Day present. Something to organize and hold all his dang hats that I keep getting him. Okay, so I've got these. I've got Ark's, well, Landon's secret sibling present to wrap. And then Caius's secret sibling present to wrap for Landon. Yeah. And then Ark's secret sibling gift, I have half of it. He chose 2 different things. I gave them a budget of $20 and told them whatever you want to get your secret sibling within that price range, let me know. I will order it. We can go to the store. We started at the Dollar Tree. It was just Caius and Ark with me, and they were going back and forth like, oh, this looks cool. This looks like, you know, I'd love to give my Secret Santa this. I'd love Secret Santa, whatever you want to call it. And it was so funny because like Ark was trying so hard to say it out loud so Caius could hear, but like whisper it to me, and Caius is like, I can hear you. I thought it was fun to have them think. I like getting them into the gifting spirit. It's always fun to receive, but you know, as a kid, I think it's a good thing to instill in your kids that giving is the real rewarding thing in life. With our Angel Tree kids, it really got Caius and Ark really excited about, you know, buying for people they didn't even know, and I think it was a new concept to them, and they really enjoyed it because it almost made them think critically in a way. Like, we don't know these kids, but this is what we have on them. What do you think would be a good fit? And they really did get into it at the stores. They helped me pick out some different items online. I didn't originally want to order anything because I was afraid it wouldn't get here in time, but things like the gloves and the hat and all that, I had to order new ones of those because of the various reasons I noted in the video where I talk about it all. I will link it whichever side the card is on, and then like in the description below. If you haven't seen us talk about what we got our Angel Tree sibling kids, to shown from Becky. My point with that was they got into it, and I loved it, and it made me feel all kinds of happy. I'm gonna wrap his glass thing now. 3D printer thing. First of all, it was a pain to build it. The instructions were very difficult to figure out. We ended up going on YouTube and figuring it out, and it's all working and everything, but like the whole process, figuring out how to get it to work right, and he's a very tech heavy, smart individual, Sean is. I'd say I am mildly tech savvy, and we got it working now, so I guess that's the point. He starts talking about wanting to buy, you know, different accessories for it and stuff, and I just, at one point I had to look at him and say, would you just wait until after Christmas, please? Like, don't be going out. You know, back in my day, when I was a kid, my birthday, my sister's birthday, and my mom's birthday were all in November, and my mom, you know, we would end up getting money from certain family members or whatever for our birthdays. To Love Bug from Becky. Anyway, we would get money or gift cards or something from family members, friends, whatever, for our birthdays, and my mom would force us to wait until after Christmas. She did it under the guise of, think of how much more money or gift cards you'll have after Christmas. And we're like, okay, Mom. But in reality, it was probably because my mom had already bought all of our Christmas stuff, and we were sitting here going, oh, I want to spend my money on this. And my mom was like, I already have that for you, but I can't tell you that. So I got him to agree to wait until after Christmas to buy anything he wanted for his 3D printer. I wanted to talk about my niece's gifts. because I don't know when I'm gonna have the time to do it. I'm in school, I'm working a lot of overtime. Kennedy is 9, Thea is 7. Yeah, Haley is about 1.5 years old. And every year for their birthdays, for Christmas, all that fun stuff, I send them gifts. They live in Missouri, where I used to live. And I'm still really close with my ex-sister-in-law. She's a really good friend of mine. My oldest niece, Kennedy, the 9-year-old, she is special needs. She has what is called Dravet syndrome. And it is a very rare form of epilepsy. It's a genetic form, so it's not something she's going to grow out of. She will always have it. Most kids, people with Dravet, do not get to live past childhood. Now, that's not to say that it won't happen. She has a hard time speaking. She does her best, and God bless her for it. She's amazing. She's a very smart little girl. She's on the autism spectrum. She's behind with her age. What you would expect a normal 9-year-old to be able to do and say and whatever. She is, I think, at like a 3 or 4-year-old level. When she's not feeling well or she's having a really bad episode or something they always do is she'll watch movies like on her tablet, and she likes to be kind of like bundled and happy. And so I asked her little sister Thea, the 7-year-old who is complete fireball, what she thought her sister would want. Thea told me that Kennedy was really into Nightmare Before Christmas. So with that knowledge, I went online and I was looking for like a play set or something for her. Didn't find anything I liked. And then I found this. Jack and Sally Squishmallows. Oh my gosh. I was like, yes. So she likes things she can cuddle and like hold on to and squeeze. And I got her this as well. It is a Jack and Sally blanket. So she's got like 2 Squishmallows and a blanket, all Nightmare Before Christmas themed. I'm so excited. And then for Thea, I ended up getting my nieces each 2 things. I didn't mean for that to happen. Some years the amount of gifts is different. I ended up spending roughly the same amount on the older 2 girls. Haley I spent a little less on, but I'll show you. And she told me Rainbow High or Monster High dolls. So I'm going to put them both here. I picked these 2 out. It was the best deals that I could find on Amazon. Had those wrapped up by Amazon and shipped out. And finally, Haley, Little Miss Haley, Little Miss Sassy Pants. She doesn't really have like likes or dislikes yet. So I got her something that Arik and Landon helped pick out. And it is this Little People, put it right here, farm. And then on this side, I will insert the Little People, it's like a tractor or something to go with it. And it makes noise. So sorry, Gretchen and Peter. My boys here and their secret siblings. I asked Landon what he wanted to get Ari for Christmas. And he didn't really know. He's like, I guess I should ask him. And I was like, don't ask him, because then he's gonna know who his secret sibling, like, you know. I sent him about maybe half a dozen to a dozen ideas, and he picked one out of it, all of them. And this one is 3 plus 8. Like this is this looks really ghetto. But this is the box. I will insert a picture here. I don't want to open it. It's a little like husky, which Ark's into, but it walks. It has a little leash. Now, Caius had Landon, and he basically chose the easiest, safest route. So he chose a $20 Steam card for Landon, and we came up with the fun, creative, I know everyone probably does this, but like the box inside a box inside a box. So we're gonna take this and we're gonna wrap it in the box and then have another box and then another box and then, you know, you get it. Finally, Arik got Caius this Rubik's Cube. It's a like star looking one, dilated rhombic dodecahedron. So a 12-pointed star. Wow. All right then. Oh, I see. So it's a regular shaped cube, like Rubik's Cube, and it transforms into a star. And then the other thing that Art got for Caius is right here. It's like an RGB mouse. Caius likes the computer. We're going to wrap this stuff. Oh, let's see, what wrapping paper shall we use? How about this one? This is the one I used for my mom and Gary. From Landon. Oh, I should have used this fancy thing on that wrapping paper. Oh no, my battery's almost dead. When I went to go drop off the gifts for the Angel Tree siblings, there were so many stars left, or not stars, papers left on the tree of kids that didn't get chosen this year, and it made me so sad because in previous, like the last few years at work, we've done something similar where we've adopted like a family or a group of families or something, and we all chip in, and then one of us goes out and like buys them everything they want. But my work didn't do that this year. I just felt so bad. It breaks my heart to think about all those kids that I don't know. I hope their parents found other means to give them a good Christmas. And I know that like what you're gifting isn't necessarily the only thing these kids are gonna get, but it still makes me really, really sad to think that some of these kids might not have had any kind of Christmas. And like that's my biggest goal, is to make enough money where I can just spoil Angel Tree kids and whoever needs help during the holidays as much as possible. I am honestly so grateful because I was never in that kind of position growing up and with my kids. I've had some really tight years, don't get me wrong. It just makes me so sad to think like, I don't know, there were just so many left, and I felt guilty because I wanted to help more and I could not financially afford it this year. All right, I had to change my battery. But now we can move on to, and get a cookie, so ignore that up there. Let's move on to Caius's gift for Landon. You know what? We're just gonna go with this roll because it's double-sided, and then if we need to change to something else, we can. So I'm going to wrap the actual card. If anything, this is gonna crack Landon up. Oh, that kid. Those brooding teen years, am I right? Tell me, what are your holiday traditions? Growing up, we used to be allowed to open our stockings whenever we woke up in the morning, but we were not allowed to bother our parents or grandparents before like 7 or 8 a.m. I don't remember. So the condition was you were free to open your stocking and anything that was in there was free game. Candy, toys, whatever the heck our parents put in there. But we had to wait until our parents woke up, or we could wake them up, I guess, at a certain time before we could open presents. And I know a lot of people like have breakfast first, or they do a couple presents and then they do lunch and then they do a couple presents and they kind of enjoy that stuff. And we didn't do that. Our parents, because some years we were home the entire day on Christmas Day, and some years we weren't. We would go to my grandma's or an aunt or uncle's house, or you know, something like that. So we wouldn't necessarily have like all day to spend with our newly acquired loot, if you will. As soon as we could wake our parents up, we would. They never got up on their own. And I find that I'm like the opposite as a parent. I'm usually up before my kids, which is just crazy to me. But anyway, my parents would get up and, you know, they'd use the bathroom, get themselves drinks and coffee, make sure my grandparents were awake because we lived with my grandparents as well. My parents and my grandparents purchased the house we lived in growing up together. So it's kind of cool to like always have my grandparents around. And I miss them both very much. But anyway, I digress. They would sit down and watch us open all of our presents. And I loved it. It was like we each took turns, you know, one present at a time. And then after we were done, my grandma made every year many, many loaves that she gave out to family members and stuff, but of a bread, like a sweetened, almost fruitcake like bread called Stollen, S-T-O-L-L-E-N. And we would have just this big breakfast extravaganza. Our drink of the morning was always the Martinelli's sparkling apple cider. Loved that stuff growing up. Absolutely loved it. So I keep that tradition. I was making Stollen for a while when I was still married, and nobody seemed to like it. So I was like, is this just a thing that is nostalgic for me and it's not really that good? I don't know. I always thought it was delicious. So, but that was pretty much like it for our traditions. And then we just spend the rest of the morning like playing with our new stuff or opening things or setting things up. Like my brothers would make their Lego kits, and my sister and I would play with our Barbies or whatever the heck we got. Beanie Babies at one point. If you're a 90s kid, definitely Beanie Babies. I guess my point to asking this was I don't really have a lot of traditions for my kids around Christmas time. I don't do like the elf on the shelf thing. I'm already like a highly overwhelmed individual as is. So to expect me to take care of an elf every single night, I don't, it's too much. Something that we have kind of decided is going to be a tradition. Since I became a single parent, this is before Sean even moved in, on Christmas morning I would make my boys like bacon and cinnamon rolls. So that's like kind of our breakfast tradition. I'll buy myself some of the Martinelli's, Caius likes it. I don't think Arik and Landon like it. Sean likes it now. And maybe I will try one of these days to make Stolen again. I don't think I've ever made it for Sean. We don't go anywhere. I don't have family that lives out here, so typically our custody schedule, it's not really even a schedule. We have 50-50 custody, both physical and whatever the other one is. We make decisions together. We co-parent for the most part very well, which I'm so grateful for. The less drama in my life, the better. I don't always agree with our choices, and it does not come without great sacrifice to be as, I guess, kosher as we are with each other. But whatever day I end up having the boys, we don't go anywhere. We just stay home. They get to play with their stuff all day, build their Legos, play their games. Like, we just stay here. Man, I lost my train of thought. I live for Christmas Day. Is that sad to say? I hope not. We'll usually take about an hour, maybe 2, depending on how many gifts I get people. And then we just kind of graze all day after the gifts are all opened, and they're all busy figuring out who's gonna build what and who's gonna help who with what. I go into the kitchen and I start cooking breakfast. This year is gonna be awesome because my mom actually sent me this giant pre-baked tray of cinnamon rolls with a special amazing topping for it. So we've got that in the freezer. I just have to pop it out, warm it up, good to go. Just make some bacon or something to go with it. And then I don't have like a tradition for Christmas lunch or Christmas dinner. It's kind of like a brunch type thing, I guess. All right, last box for this funny, hilarious fiasco. Oh, by the way, this is the brand that my mom sent me, Cinnamon, and it's cinnamonbakery.com. It always interests me, the differences in everyone's holiday celebrations, if you will. I hope this is enough paper for this. I think it might be. Yes, it is like just perfect. I love that. Thank God. As I tear it, oh, Jesus, take the wheel. Tapey, maybe? Maybe? Oh, nobody said Christmas had to be fancy, right? I had planned to get like an even bigger box, maybe like 2 more big, but to be perfectly honest, I didn't want to waste all the wrapping paper. I feel like this right here is a lot of wrapping paper. So I could talk about the Christmas gifts that grandparents have gotten grandkids this year. My mom sent me money, and Sean's dad sent me money. And so I bought, with the money my mom sent me, I got Caius and Landon each another game. Arik, I got him another Lego set and a small one. And I got him the same air hockey table that we got our 15-year-old Angel Tree kid present, because he absolutely loved it. And like a week later, a surprise came in the mail, and it was from Sean's dad. Now mind you, obviously Sean's dad is not biologically related to my kids, but these are the closest things to grandkids that he may ever have. So he's very sweet, very generous, and inside this card was a check for my boys for Christmas. And it was a lot. So Sean and I kind of brainstormed and went back and forth about what we thought we should use the check for. And we came up with an Xbox. It's an Xbox Series S. I like it because it's strictly digital downloads. I currently only have a PlayStation 3. I thought about getting a PlayStation 5, but it's just too much money at this point. I've spent plenty on these kids. And so I was thinking about it. I'm like, we've never had an Xbox. Even like my whole life, I don't think I've ever had an Xbox. It was $2.99 it comes with 3 digital download games. Fortnite, which I know Landon loves. Kais and Arik like it. They haven't really played it too much, but I figured maybe they would if it was on an Xbox. And I don't remember the other 2. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. So it's like a family gift, because not only are they gonna get to play it, but Sean and I are gonna get to play it. It just blows me away, like how kind and generous people are. I've gotten to a point in my life where I don't necessarily have a lot of family that I speak to, that I converse with regularly, and I don't have a lot of like friends. And Sean's kind of the same way. I try really hard not to rely on like grandparent gifts or anybody else gifting anything. So I try to make sure that I give my kids the best Christmas that I can possibly give them, because I love how magical like all of my Christmases when I was a kid were, and I want that for my kid. I feel so blessed to be living this life. It's amazing. And their dad obviously gets them stuff too. He has his own Christmas that he does with them, and they love having 2 Christmases. I mean, what kid wouldn't, right? He goes out of his way, and we kind of like coordinate our gifts so we're not overlapping on certain things. Or there have been a couple of years where we've gone in on gifts together, which I know is kind of weird because we're divorced, but it's about the boys. It's not about us. Sean gets them gifts. Their grandparents on my ex's side gets them gifts. My ex sister-in-law with my nieces gets them gifts. Everything that I have wrapped here, mentioned, all that shenanigans, I will link it all down below if I have a link for it. Anyhow, thanks for hanging out with me and chatting while I wrapped. It's nice to get things kind of wrapped as I go. It's very nice. Alright, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye! Thanks for watching.